Workhorse stock analysis. So guys, welcome to the video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about Workhorse stock. Now this is another stock that actually received a bunch of pre-orders from UPS. If you guys have been following my channel for any time, you know I just talked about Arrival, a company that's based in the UK. They received a bunch of pre-orders from UPS. So that was kind of the international version of company that UPS is working with. So now I want to talk about the American company that UPS is working with. So let's get right into it, guys. Before I get into this video, guys, please give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my content. So here we are, Workhorse. Now this company has, come a long way over the last year. You know, a lot of these EV stocks were trading like very low levels. Even some of these were at $1. So as you can see here, Workhorse was basically trading around a very low level. It even hit $1 right during the whole pandemic crash. And now the stock price is through the roof. So, you know, it's up about 780% over the last 52 weeks. So a lot of people are kind of on the fence on this stock. They were supposed to receive a pretty big order from USPS, but that was delayed for the whole pandemic. So I'm going to get into, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the company, and then I'm going to show you guys some of the reasons why I think the stock's going to go up in the future and give you guys my price prediction. So let's get right into it. So Workhorse. Okay, so Workhorse is another company. They're producing basically delivery vans, and their target market is, again, commercial. So this is not like some of the stocks like for instance, Tesla or Solo or, Lordstown Motors. This company is basically targeting commercial vans. So that means companies like UPS, USPS, FedEx, of that sort. And their flagship vehicle is basically, it's called the C1000. Now they actually have two vans in the C series, the C650 and the C1000. And as you can see here, these vans are basically built especially for delivery and optimization. Delivery companies, sometimes a driver might have to deliver 100 to 200 packages a day. So these vans have been made to be very, very comfortable, yet very energy efficient as well. And as you can see here, of course, they're 100% electric with a very low floor design. And they also come with an app that kind of helps you manage all of the vans in your fleet. So I'm not going to talk too much about the specifications, guys, but just to let you guys know that this van is a pretty cool product. And that's one of the reasons why UPS ended up signing a contract to produce some vans for their company. But it's not just UPS that had some pre-orders. They also recently received another pretty nice order for 500 C1000 all-electric delivery vans from a company called Pritchard Companies. And as you can see here in the press release, it says they're looking for 500 vehicles. And it says, with this significant order and agreement from Pritchard, we can build upon our nationwide distribution network and expand the number of potential fleet customers we are able to operate and own a Workhorse delivery truck. Now, the CEO of Pritchard went ahead and said, we see this initial 500 vehicle purchase being the first of many future orders and look forward to growing with Workhorse in 2021 and beyond. So this is great news. And this really helps, I think, Workhorse in the long run. They're not so dependent on just UPS. They're still awaiting the decision of the USPS contract, but they're already receiving orders from other companies as well. So I really think that this company has a lot of forward momentum. So now I want to talk a little bit more about the recent quarterly earnings report, and then we're going to talk more about the USPS contract and give you guys my price prediction. So now let's take a look at the recent quarterly earnings report, because that's going to give you guys a lot of insight into what the company has actually done in Q3. So if we take a look here. Okay, so here we are. You can find all of this information on ir.workhorse.com. So here's their latest quarterly report. So they said the 2021 production is to be about 1,800 vehicles, about 1,800 vehicles. So obviously they're not delivering a ton of vehicles. They don't nearly have as many pre-orders as I mentioned earlier in a previous video that Arrival has. So Arrival has over 10,000 pre-orders. So this is obviously a much smaller volume. So, but one of the things about Workhorse is that they're strategically kind of turning a little bit into a holdings company as well. And that's something else that kind of adds a lot of long-term value to the company, because they also have a strategic partner through Lordstown Motor, which is under the ticker symbol RIDE. That's another EV stock that's been crushing it recently. And they have a 10% stake in that company. So that's really helpful. They have a partnership with them. And, as RIDE, as Lordstown Motor continues to grow in the future, that 10% ownership stake should, rise in value as well. So now, as you can see here, they said we previously projected 300 to 400 vehicles to be produced at the end of 2020, mostly in Q4. So we're probably going to see more transparency from the company in Q4. Obviously, I think they were pretty slowed down by the pandemic, but the fact that they're doing 1,800 units next year, and also they're awaiting the decision of the USPS contract, which I'm going to get to in a minute. I think things are really looking up for this company. And the reason why I like them so much is, I mentioned earlier again, I really like Arrival, and I think that a lot of people aren't talking about the commercial side of EVs. Everyone's focused on cars and trucks, for basically, personal use and things like that. And, while I like companies like Tesla and stuff, there's a huge demand for commercial vehicles as well. Companies need to electrify their delivery vans. They need to electrify buses and things like that. And that's kind of another segment that you can really make a lot of money on if you buy some of these stocks now, because most of these stocks now are all basically valued under $10 billion. Workhorse currently has a market cap of, okay, so yes, they have a market cap of just under $3 billion. So we know that these are some of the cheaper stocks you can find. A lot of the personal use stocks for electric vehicles like NIO and Tesla, those stocks are in the, NIO's well over 60 billion and Tesla's, approaching $500 billion. So there's a lot of upside in the commercial side, and I think a lot of people aren't talking about it. So that's why I'm going to let you guys know more about Workhorse. So now let's go back to the quarterly report. And as you can see here, the company is basically done. Now, they haven't done a lot in sales. That's probably one of the reasons why the stock hasn't been doing as well. It kind of sold off from its previous highs. They only recorded around $565,000 in revenue. But when compared to the third quarter of 2019, that's a substantial increase. So, things are moving in the right direction. I think, with the whole EV market, I think certain stocks are going to move faster than others. But overall, if they've got pre-orders, if they're going to deliver these commercial products, you're going to see stock prices rise. And the company is holding around $80 million in cash. So hopefully they won't have to, do offerings and things like that to raise capital. Okay, so now let's head over to the investor presentation to give you guys some more insights into the company outside of the quarterly report. So here's a look at some of their concept vans for USPS. Workhorse is the only US-based company that petitioned for this contract. So hopefully, if USPS, being a government-owned mail delivery service, hopefully they choose the American service, even though they've delayed the decision. That hopefully they will end up choosing Workhorse. So now I want to talk a little bit more about the USPS decision. So right now we're on the fence. We don't really know what's going on. I found this article on Seeking Alpha. It says Workhorse shares sell-off and reported delay of USPS contract. So this is a very lucrative contract. The contract is worth about $8.1 billion, which is already over 3 times as much as Workhorse's current market cap. But the decision has been delayed. So, as you can see here, it talks a lot about the contract. It says, we received email communication from USPS after heavy press coverage. Our call indicating confidence Workhorse bid for the $8.1 billion and 165,000 units. It says, we noted that the decision date was slated for today, but a spokesperson indicated now expects a decision by the end of 2020. So what's that mean? Well, we don't really know exactly what that means. We don't know what the end of 2020 means. It could mean in November. It could mean December. We're not exactly sure. But if Workhorse gets this contract, the stock price is going to absolutely soar. So I think if you guys are kind of assuming that they're going to win this contract, I think buying the stock now or even buying call options into 2021 could be very lucrative for you. So just definitely something to keep in mind. So the nice thing about Workhorse is as you can see here, they're kind of getting in towards the end of their production model. They've refined their flagship vehicle, the C1000. And it's a really awesome vehicle. They received their initial 1,000 unit order from UPS, and they also have some extra features. It's something that's completely revolutionary called the Horsefly. So I want to talk a little bit about the Horsefly for a second. This thing is really cool, guys. So basically what the Horsefly is, as you can see here on the screen, it's like a delivery drone. So I watched a video on YouTube. You guys could just Google, you guys can just search for it on YouTube called Horsefly. Basically what it does is that the driver ends up, here's a good picture explaining it. All the driver has to do is just kind of drive near the delivery location, and the drone will actually take the package out of the roof, deliver it to the doorstep, and then come back to the van. So this is one of their kind of revolutionary technologies that's supposed to save a ton of money for delivery companies like USPS, FedEx, UPS. So this is kind of their, I would say, their unique value proposition, because I haven't really seen this from any other company. So, and also drones are going to be definitely a huge part of this decade. I'm going to talk a little bit more about drone stocks in a future video, but right now I just want to wrap things up with Workhorse. So now moving back to the presentation, as we can see here, there's a huge market opportunity for these types of vehicles. The average selling price is around $50,000, and it says around 350,000 of these vehicles are purchased annually with a market value of like $18 billion. So as you can see here are some of the concept vehicles. You got DHL, FedEx, UPS. So overall, a huge market opportunity, lots of potential customers. Some of these companies have already, Amazon is well known working with Rivian. UPS also has orders from Workhorse and Arrival, FedEx, DHL, and even Walmart. A lot of these grocery stores are going to start delivering, so they're probably going to have to upgrade their fleet. So the good thing about Workhorse is that I think they're an American company. So for companies in the U.S., a lot of these companies are U.S. based that need to kind of, change over their vehicles to electric. Hopefully that if companies wanted to keep things, you go with an American company, that positions Workhorse in a great position. So as you can see here, the total relationship with UPS, they have around a total of 1,345 vehicles in total ordered from UPS, and 345 of these vehicles have already been produced. So, anytime you're working with a company like, UPS, you're dealing with that whole power of proximity, a theory where, just like we saw Arrival is before they even turn into a company via SPAC, ticker symbol CIIC, that stock is up a ton. So this is a really, really good situation. So now the final catalyst would probably be that lucrative USPS contract. We're really not sure exactly when it's going to get selected, so we're just kind of on the fence right there. Okay, so now I want to talk about technical analysis and a future price prediction. So the stock is already up a ton. If we take a look, okay, so now for some technical analysis. So here we are looking at a year-to-date chart of Workhorse. So the stock is up around almost 600% year to date, and the previous high was around $30. So the reason why there was such a sell-off was because this was anticipation of the USPS contract that's worth around $8 billion. So when that decision was delayed, the stock basically lost half of its value, and there was plenty of support at around $15. So now it looks like it's just moving back up based on, with a little bit more transparency before the end of the year. So how I would personally play it, I think that if they don't get the contract, I think that's definitely negative news, but there seems to be enough support at around $15 that even if you bought it at around 22 or 23, you're probably not going to, have much downside risk. But there's a lot of potential upside risk because the company's market cap is currently under $3 billion and the contract is worth $8 billion. So this could potentially cause the stock to almost probably close as much as double once the news hits, if they are awarded the contract. And with stocks like this, I've seen stocks, this looks like I'm seeing companies like this. Once the news gets positive, they end up surpassing those previous highs, and the stock can continue to break out. And we know that next year there's going to be a lot more production in the pipeline. This was kind of a rough year for a lot of companies. I think this definitely was not a good year for Workhorse. They had to definitely delay a lot of their production plans. But 2021 is definitely the year where you're going to see things explode, especially if they get this contract. So my personal price target, I think they're going to be awarded the contract. I really don't see USPS working with additional provider, especially with the pandemic. It's just so much easier to choose an American company. I think now, just logistically, it's much simpler. And I think they're just delaying the decision simply because there's been a lot of turmoil with the whole election thing, and that's been a big distraction for the government in general. So my future price target, I think Workhorse should, if the contract's worth $8 billion, they already have a bunch of pre-orders from some other companies, as I mentioned. I think that around $40 is a pretty conservative price target. That wouldn't even be not even a $6 billion market cap. And, you know, if you have over 8 billion in pre-orders, you would say that the company's worth at least that much, probably a lot more if you were using a decent price to sales ratio. So I think buying now, you have at least 100% upside, with a lot more upside in the future. If USPS jumps on board, that'll get a lot of attention for the company, and others will follow suit as well. So to wrap up, guys, hope you enjoyed this video about Workhorse. Really excellent company, and also one of the most popular stocks on Robinhood right now. So a lot of people are watching the stock. I'm going to be eyeing it as well. I've always wanted to open up a position, and now I think we're getting closer to figuring out who's going to the contract. My guess is they're going to win the contract, so I'm probably going to open a position now. I think now is a good entry point. You know, the market cap's pretty small for a company with this type of potential, and I think commercial stocks are kind of the untalked about sector of EVs. I think everyone's focusing on the consumer end and the personal end, but I think commercial is going to make a lot of money because governments and a lot of big companies are going to have to update their vehicles. So there's a lot of upside in the stock. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you guys enjoy my channel and like content like this, please smash the red subscribe button and let me know if you want me to cover any EV stocks in the comments. Hopefully my goal for this decade, guys, is to cover many of these stocks, because a lot of these stocks are going to make you guys millionaires if you buy now and hold for the next 2, 5, 10 years. So just let me know if you have any stocks you want me to cover in the comments. Until next time, guys, take care.